Right then, hello there. My name is Paul. I'm also called Knack Knack. I'm the brains behind the daily teaser. I'll have the card up at some point. Um, and I'm also something of a fan of science fiction series Doctor Who. Hence the t-shirt. I don't know if you can see it properly. Hang on. The one that tells people I'm a graduate at Gallifrey University. But there we go. At any rate, I'm a fan of Doctor Who, and occasionally I will happily sit in and watch the thing just because. Just recently, I've managed to pick up a copy of the recently reanimated Patrick Troughton story, Fury from the Deep. Last night I saw the first 2 episodes. I'll be watching the next 2 tomorrow, hopefully. But last night I saw the first 2 episodes of the Restore series, and I wanted to tell you about them. Episode 1 shows us the TARDIS landing at sea off the east coast of England. Landing not far from a patch of coastline that contains a lot of pipeline, as it's pumping gas from a series of offshore gas refineries for Eurosea Gas, fictional gas company, okay? It's not that long before the Doctor examines the valves controlling the pipes, gaining access to them, in a first for the show, with a sonic screwdriver. He, the Doctor, Patrick Troughton, Jamie, Fraser Hines, and Victoria, Deborah Watling, all hear a mysterious thumping noise. It's not long, though, before the trio are taken into custody by the refinery's staff and try warning the refinery's controller, Robson, Victor Madden, that something's happening in the pipeline. Robson ignores them, and his second-in-command, Harris, Roy Spencer, who's warning of a serious blockage somewhere in that gas line. Harris's wife Maggie, June Murphy, has gone to find a missing file for her husband and found some mysterious seaweed in their flat. Seaweed that seems far more mobile than seaweed has a right to be. Episode 2 picks up from where episode 1 picks off and shows us how Victoria is rescued from huge amounts of giggling seaweed by basically screaming at it and getting rescued, and she also falls under suspicion from Robson. He's convinced she was in a locked control room for unsavoury purposes. Meanwhile, Harris has checked on his wife Maggie. She's seriously woozy after being stung by the seaweed, and her condition is serious enough that Harris tries to find the Doctor to see if he can help. Meanwhile, the site's chief engineer, Hubert Rees, calls Robson and Van Lotien, who's a Dutch consultant on the site, played by John Aberneri, to the main impeller room. The chief is hearing slightly suspicious noises from the main impeller, and he's convinced that, yes, there's a blockage. The Doctor tells all three that reminds all three that he's heard the same noise, and thinks turning off the gas flow might just be a good idea. Van Lutjens and the chief engineer agree with him, but Robson turns them down flat. He manages to ease pressure in the pipelines, though, by burning off a lot of gas. While that's going off, Maggie receives visitors who fix her fridge. I've embedded the video of that into the written version, by the way. And when the Doctor, Harris, Jamie, and Victoria all arrive, they find her unconscious. They find a suspicious smell of gas, and they find a lump of seaweed. Now, what did I make of the Lost Classic, or at least these 2 episodes? For a start, I'm doing what I usually do. I'm watching the reanimated Troughton stories in colour. I just prefer it that way. That's no kind of judgment on the black and white reconstructions. Both are better than not having the series at all. I would be curious to see the original live version, but for now I'll watch them in colour, or the cartoon. And I have to say that the cartoon version, again, seems to be one hell of an improvement on both Power of the Daleks and the Macra Terror, both of which I've seen. One thing I did notice, apart from the typos I've done on the written version there, I'm using that as a script, but one thing I did notice was Patrick Troughton eyes. In The Power of the Daleks, the Macra Terror and the Faceless One, the second Doctor's eyes are blue. In these first 2 episodes of Fury from the Deep, they're a healthy shade of green. Patrick Troughton's eyes themselves are actually blue. You can tell that by going and have a watch of the 2 Doctors. Quite bright blue eyes, bless him. That's a minor detail. It's a choice of colour that actually, in the context of the episode, looks great. It looks good. Green-eyed second Doctor. But it's, for me as a long-term fan, it's a noticeable inconsistency. Another minor point, they've captured Robson quite well. Victor Madden's quite a distinctive-looking actor, so they've got him quite well. But I'm not sure the animators have got Victoria, Deborah Watling, well enough. Again, I'm only 2 episodes in, so I'm not sure how that goes over the course of the whole series. Overall, though, the restoration does look good and far better than its predecessors. The story itself is thoroughly enjoyable, and it's vintage Troughton. It's an isolated base. It's a snotty establishment controller in the shape of Robson running the thing. The supporting characters are all wonderful. The thing is the first ever appearance of the sonic screwdriver, and it's got quite a menacing marine-based monster. Personally, in the old words of every single rehab meeting I've ever been to, I'm keeping coming back, and I'm going to be watching the next 2 episodes on the 25th of October, tomorrow, and I'll write up and do a video as soon as I possibly can. I hope you'd care to join me, and I hope you'd care to read what I write about it. Thank you for watching. Come again soon. Have a good day. Nanu. Yeah, right. Take care now.